Why do people buy new cars? Why do men have nipples? Why do Americans call petrol gas? Why does the sound of commercial radio make me nauseous? No, seriously, why do people buy new cars? Is there actually a point? This question ties in very nicely with my other question, which is, why are people so eager just to chuck cars away because they're old? George, the Rover 600, for example. Currently, I'm not really sure what I'm doing with this car, but this car was just going to go for scrap. Even though it worked perfectly well. Put a battery on it, worked. Took it for an MOT, passed. Why chuck it away? The same thing, of course, applies to the car known as Project Nigel. A few years back, this car was bought by me for £110, only £10 more than the scrappers actually offered at the time. Yet, it still had an MOT, it started and it drove without any kind of faults whatsoever, and when I did take it to its next MOT, it passed without even an advisory. And as many people can confirm, this car has been completely without fault, except for a failing alternator, ever since. So why was it being chucked away? Well, I think image has quite a bit to do with it. And when you have so many people complaining about their Mini or their BMW or Vauxhall or whatever breaking down, it shows that image is more important than getting to your destination in the first place. So the short conclusion to this question is, people are knobs. Harsh words there, really, but come on. I've known many people that would just simply chuck away something like a Rover 25 so they can buy something better. And when you ask, well, what do you mean something better? Well, you know, better. What do you mean better? Yeah, you know, newer. So why is newer better? Well, it's more reliable. No, it's not. Well, you know, something that looks better. Well, that's subjective, isn't it? Better. Something looks smarter. Something that more presentable. Oh yeah, so to impress other people, in other words. No, not because I want to feel good about myself. Well, wouldn't you feel good about yourself if you wasn't spending a lot of money just to impress somebody else? Are there any other reasons that you can think of that makes a new car better? Modern cars are becoming somewhat generic, of course, because they're all designed to do the same function. They're all built pretty much by the same people these days, just different badges on. All cars seem to have massive badges on them these days. Have you ever wondered why? There was a time when you could tell what car was what from 50 or 60 feet away without really needing to see a badge at all. Now, of course, you wouldn't have a clue what the car was unless you can see the badge. I know I have mentioned stuff like this before, but the other day I was parked next to a Vauxhall Zafira. And I remember this quite distinctively because I was a little bit irritated by the behaviour. And I was looking at it and I thought, why has it got an M badge on it? And then I noticed it had BMW wheels as well. And then of course the penny dropped. Again, BMW 220 7-seater. Looks just like a Vauxhall Zafira. Good on Vauxhall for originally making a rather distinctive, if rather uninteresting mummy wagon. To the extent where BMW do the same car, and you can't tell the difference. Same as the Nissan Duke. Who likes the Nissan Duke? I certainly don't. Not many people actually like the look of the Nissan Duke because it just looks a bit strange. But at least it is very, very distinctive. You know, people have like babies and stuff and all babies look the same. So the idea of having a cute baby competition is rather kind of redundant somehow. That's what cars are like. Until you draw a moustache on one of them, and then that baby becomes a bit like the Nissan Duke. Individuality, interesting personalities, they don't seem to be much of a commodity these days. So it may sound a little bit odd this, but I think the reason people buy newish cars is because they're selfish, is because they think for themselves. They want other people to think that they've successful, that they've done something good, and that essentially they are better people than what you are. And they're not. In fact, they're more stupid. It's like me walking around with this head torch on, expecting you can see what I'm talking about. Go on, I know you're hard of hearing, but just lip read what I'm saying. Before I finish this argument off, let me ask you this one question. Does spending a lot of money on something mean that it's better? Is something better just because it costs more? No one's going to say yes to that, are they? So, BMW 318 diesel, almost £29,000. My car, almost nothing. A saving of nearly £29,000. If I could afford that car, I'd have £29,000. But that's just it, isn't it? It's all about proving you can afford something rather than actually having it because it's any good. Pandering to the idiots. Rover not. The Rover has indicators that work. Now, I'm not jealous. Honestly, I wish I had the money for a BMW. I really do. Because then I'd spend it on something more useful. If you're buying a car or a pair of sunglasses or a speedboat or whatever for the sole purpose of impressing other people, then that means that you are a rather insecure individual who cannot just be comfortable with themselves unless other people think they're brilliant. It's like being cool. You can't be cool if you're trying to be cool. Just like Tony and the Bandit. Today is November the 5th, and many dog owners don't like this day or the surrounding days because of how frightened their little poochies become over the fireworks. But have you ever considered that the kind of idiots that drive their cars these days with a pops and bangs remaps everywhere, making every town sound like some sort of war-torn no-go area? Poor doggies. Yeah. I feel sorry for them. I do.